Okay, so we continue, man, with Sammy's Rock Empire Fridays, and yet we've got another Alter Bridge, actually Alter Bridge back to back. This is called Last Rites. I think I know why it's back to back, or I actually don't know why it's back to back. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Alter Bridge Last Rites, for those of you who have not been here for a while. Why am I losing my train of thought? We are completing the whole point to this whole Rock Empire Fridays is that we complete the Alter Bridge and Tremonti discographies, right? Up until this point, obviously, whatever they drop in the future, we'll get to those. But we're almost there. We're actually very close to there. So it's a little sad, though. It's a little sad. I'm excited to actually finish it, but it's sad because then it will be done. And then by the time they're done, they best release another album. Like literally, as I finish, they need to release another album. Tremonti or Alter Bridge, whichever one. But Alter Bridge today is winning the day. So if you're only joining us now, we've already reacted to 11. We're on the 12th one today. So I suggest you go back and start from there, man. Specifically if you love Alter Bridge and Tremonti. This is Last Rites. We haven't heard this one. Let's rock and roll. I think Last Rites obviously when they read your Last Rites, when you pass away. I think it's called also the Commendation of the Dying, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, carry on. Hey.
And it don't look that good to me. Tear out the sutures put in place to save us all. Ooh. Well, that's your right, but wait and see. You don't know where this goes. Wait until tomorrow. Ooh. You don't know where this goes. One day you will see there'll be no lost rights. The future's all but set in stone. Say goodbye.
Yo, bro, that's hectic. A little bleak, but hectic. I don't know if he's talking about society at large in terms of where we're going with the world. This is quite it's an old song, I'm sure, because from their previous albums. But if he's talking about this specifically, if he's referring to society or to the world at large with regards to where it's going, the fact that the writing was on the wall then, you could see it in little bits, but it kind of fell apart since fucking COVID. It really fucking fell apart, right? And it almost feels like there will be no last rites. It almost feels like it's sad to say, but it feels like when shit goes down in a really heavy way, it's going to be quite fucking abrupt, and there will be no one to read you your last rites. Specifically if we go fucking nuclear with this bitch. But could be talking about that, or it could be talking about the individual in terms of like they're on the bad path, they're on a bad road, essentially. And it's almost like they're denying themselves the last rites by what they're doing, whether it be maybe them taking drugs. It's kind of like a warning. So it's like them being on drugs or them being alcoholics or anything that's really sort of harming themselves. It's almost like they taking away their last rites, their last dignity, because there will be no dignity in the way that you died. Essentially, I'm not sure there's, at the end of the day, human beings should always be, regardless of what they do, they should be given the dignity of a decent burial and a decent send-off with the last rites, essentially. But I think this comes across as a message and a warning to those people that they'll be like, the way you going out is going to be tragic and devoid of the last rites that you should have in a decent sort of burial. It's like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are we as a society doing this to ourselves if we're going down that road? Or why are you doing this to yourself? Like, you don't need to do this. You could go a different way, but you're choosing to go this way, right? Which is kind of like taking away your own sort of dignified last rites. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. You guys let me know.
To the only way of life you've ever known, that you've ever known, that you've ever known, that you've ever known. Protest the boundaries put in place that hold you down.
Hey!
Scream in defiance, storm
see, they always come with the hope shit. They always come with the uplifting shit, right? So they start off with that, which seems a little bleak, but then it says protest the boundaries that puts you down.
Hold you down.
Yeah, that are put in place to hold you down.
Scream in defiance, storm the gate.
And then scream in defiance and storm the gates. It's always about just do better, get better. Like it's all about always the revolution within yourself, the change and all that kind of thing, right? It's always about opposing that systematic order that tries to keep you shackled within your own mind, within a pigeonhole. Come on, man, fire. And they'll always bring light to that. And they do it in such an elegant way.
Defiance, storm the gates. Poured out a bounty that might serve you well for now. But in the end, you'll seal a fate. You don't know where this.
I like that over there, but put out the boundary that will serve you well for now is basically saying constantly going for those cheap happinesses, right? These temporary measures of happiness, right? But eventually you're going to seal your fate with all of this, right? If it's not rooted in something substantive, it's not rooted in something that has moral and value and purpose and meaning, right? Eventually you're putting out a bounty on yourself that's just not going to serve you at the end. Fire, 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 fire.
Don't know where this goes. Wait until tomorrow. Oh no, here we go again. There'll be no last rides. The future's all but set in stone. Say goodbye.
Fire, bro. Ultra Bridge today, bro. I got number 2. The crazy thing, it seems like a lot of people, the majority of society, or I wouldn't say the majority of society, it's an erroneous statement, but a growing majority of society are starting to lose sight, right? And don't know who to follow, right? And the ones that they are following, all they're doing is they're following the golden calves, right? They're turning to idolatry, right? They're making heroes out of people that are just the most vile, hedonistic, terrible human beings, like the people in Hollywood and stuff like that they wouldn't piss in your direction if they had to see you in the street. And all that they're trying to push and permeate through society is just this hedonistic, sort of liberal, secular, be free ideology. But those are the demons, right? Those aren't the people to actually follow. They're not the righteous to follow. They think they're the righteous, but they're the fake righteous, right? They're sort of like the devil in disguise. And when I say the devil, is not from a biblical sense. It's just it's just the darkness of the world, of this world, kind of like metastasize into what we believe is something that's got some level of value, right? Because there are likes attached to it, there's music attached to it, there's all this kind of notoriety attached to it, but no one's operating in a virtuous sense anymore. It's all very sort of fake compassion that's tearing apart society, and people have no real people to follow anymore to give them any sort of real guidance, much like Alter Bridge. These are the kind of people you want to follow, right? But these aren't the kind of people that they are pushing and mainstreaming to such an extent. They're pushing all the hedonistic shit, right? Because it sells. The recipe is made to sell and distract. Come on. I think it was a tarot card, if I'm not mistaken.
There'll be no last
song. And he warned you, is basically how he ends the song. Fire. Alter Bridge today, man. I'm sorry, Alter Bridge today has just been smoking. I don't know how they have this many tracks that are just so good. I have no idea. Because eventually, not eventually, like usually you would go through an album and be like, nah, this one's okay, this one's okay. Like this one's a heater, blah, 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 blah. But it just seems, I don't know, maybe I'm just swept up in the whole sort of excitement of all of this. But did they all just seem good? Or was it just me? Am I just getting excited for no reason? Am I like this little excited chihuahua with a little fucking biscuit in front of his nose? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the very next one. Peace.